I'm going to talk to you today quickly about PearDeck, and PearDeck is an add-on technically for Google Slides, so it's its own program, but it runs kind of inside of Google Slides. So if I go up here to my Google Slides, this is me, I'm logged into my current account, and I go down to this new, create a new presentation. And so this is a brand new presentation. I can click my add-ons here, and this is how I get to the PearDeck actual pieces. So I click add-ons, and I get add-ons. This anyone has access to. And what happens here is these are the most popular, and PearDeck is, as you can see, already installed on my Google account. So you would click that, you would install that, and then you would go back to your add-ons, and here it is. So I can open my PearDeck add-on. And what this does is I have quite a few different templates. I have quite a few different things that I can start with. So I'm going to go into some of their templates. A lot of people ask, how can I use this? What can I do with this? What can I use this for in my lesson? I'll never use this. And I understand that. If you're already making PowerPoints, if you're already making Google Slides presentations, if you're already wanting to upload those items to your Schoology or Google Classroom account, this is a little bit extra, but this gets all the input and feedback back from your students. So your students can't check out. Your students have to answer. Your students can collaborate with other students. They can draw. They can graph. We can do all kinds of different stuff. So I can use it, as you can see down here, as a bell ringer or a do now. I can use it as an activity or an assessment, and I can give it at the end of the lesson. There are some critical thinking slides. They're located here. And this social emotional learning slide, this tells me, how did you like this? How am I doing? How are you feeling today? Things like that. And then we have all the way from kindergarten up. I use this math one a lot. And so I could give a question like this. So this is the slide that comes up. And in regard to this slide, I can ask some particular math questions. I could say, any image here, what questions could we ask? Or I could change this. I can say, what is the volume? I could put a different question and say, would you rather? Or, I don't know, something along that type. We have some multiple choice slides. We have which one doesn't belong, which is one of my favorites. Students can graph on a number line. Students can solve. Students can graph in a coordinate plane. They can tell you how or why they got that answer, and they can respond to others, which is an excellent form. And if they're not sure, when they bring up one of these whys, they might get an info because you as the teacher can then bring up other students' answers on the next slide. So this would go away, and the very next slide as you're presenting would be real-time student answers that you can select from. Okay? So when I go to give a presentation, it'll joinpd.com, a student jumps in there, and they type in this code. Once this code pops up, down here students will connect, and I can actually open the teacher dashboard, and I can do that from my phone or from an iPad or a tablet. And if you're using your phone to give this presentation, your computer's actually providing the tech. It's up on your screen or your smartboard, and your phone is running the presentation, so you're not stuck behind your screen at your desk or having a student behind your desk clicking through each PowerPoint slide. Okay? Now, PearDeck does have some other things. This PearDeck vocabulary is an incredible game where students collaborate to make vocabulary. I practiced this quite a few times, and I've done this with my students once or twice. It's a little tougher with math to draw a picture, but it absolutely can be used to create vocabulary. The PearDeck for Google Slides, if you go to peardeck.com, you can create a presentation that way, but it just links you back to your Google Slide account. Again, going into this template library, this would be an example of a multiple choice slide. The question would be posed here. They answer on their device that they have in front of you, or in front of them, excuse me. and they would then need to respond, and it would give you real time once you flip to the very next slide, real time how the students are doing. Again, it also allows a lot of collaboration if I'm in, like I said, in my math. If I click this solve one, students can draw inside of here and they can show their work. They can write on their screen. They can use a phone for this. They can use a tablet for this. They can use a Chromebook, especially if it has touch, for this. This graphing one that's coming up, when they click this, it can actually bring up a Desmos calculator, and that allows them to graph this up here. So if I were to put my problem being, let's come up with something easy, x squared plus 2. So this student would then need to graph this on this coordinate plane and what it would look like. Or I could do something even easier, x plus 5. What would that look like on here? And students would draw on this. They can move on this. I've done quite a few things. And then when I get all set, I just click this present lesson. Or when I log into PearDeck, I can have it down here. So this is the one I was just working on. This is one that I was practicing earlier with. And again, this vocabulary list is a collab vocab game where students are broken into teams, and then they create the actual flashcards that they're going to use for vocab practice later. PearDeck has been used on my school for the past year. I'm starting to get into it more and more, and from what I see, I really like it. I've made quite a few different things with it. There are a couple different levels in terms of free and premium. You don't get all of the slides. You have to make a little bit more on the free, but your district may be eligible for the Premier, or you may be eligible for a free trial of the Premier. There's some really cool stuff in these presentations of social studies, has some maps and things like that. A big question. Again, this is again a fact or opinion button. So as I go in and I click, I could set people up in teams. I could have them talk. I could have them go back. I could have find someone that disagrees with you. I can have drag and drop on these. So again, it is students leading students in regards to find someone else, or you have to put in a little bit more effort, but these can clearly be used to increase your student engagement. These run on anything. I'm running it on a 2-year-old Chromebook right now, and they do Windows, they do Mac. You can run this from your phone if you're presenting. There's a lot of good stuff in this program. I encourage you to check it out. I feel that you will be pleasantly surprised with the things that you can do.